Soon we'll be 30 years old. Our songs have been sold. We've traveled and we're still roaming. Soon we'll be 30 years old.
Everybody, Red October here. Today is May the 3rd, Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to do a morning chat video with you guys. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do two of these, two topics in one. Maybe I'll just do one. I'll save the other one for another day, or maybe I'll make another video once I get settled in park. But I think I'm going to title this video King of the Castle. Right? Every man is king of their castle. Whether you have a little shack in the field, or you own a big fancy multi-room, multi-bathroom house, home, you are the king of your castle, right? Most kings have a queen, right? But if nothing else, you are king of your castle. And I noticed, and this is going to be a spoiler warning for you guys that watch Game of Thrones, so if you don't want to hear me say anything about Game of Thrones, turn it off now, or come back after you watch the episode from last week on Sunday. But on Game of Thrones, again, I'm warning you, there are two kings that get overthrown in this last week's episode. And it made me think about something. Then when I was watching it, I was thinking about this last night and even this morning. I'm not sure what it is, but when you're king of the castle, you don't want, especially at a young age, middle-aged man like myself, you still got plenty of years, plenty of, learning experiences to go. So there's no thought in my mind to say, okay, I'm, 41 and I'm going to just hand over the kingdom, the keys to the kingdom. I got a long way to go, right? But when you're an elderly man, when you get up there and you've lived your life, you've lived your days as ruler, as king, right? You've seen it, you've done it, you've experienced everything. There's really nothing else left for you to experience other than continue to see life and watch everybody else, get older and live their own memories and experiences, right? But what happens when you get to a point where there is a prince in line, right? Your next of heir, when they're in line to rule the kingdom, and you won't pass that on, right? So you're an elderly man. Let's say you're in your 80s, right? That's a good number. Mid 80s, late 80s, and you've lived your life. You've experienced all that you probably are going to experience as far as travel experience. You hunted, you fought, you loved. You've seen it all. At what point does a man, king of their castle, say to their next of heir, here you go. Here are the keys to the castle. And wish them luck and say, do your best and be a good king, right? I thought about that watching that episode. Then, I'm thinking about it now, last night. And what is it that makes a man hang on to his keys again? Is it just at that point knowing that you're that much closer to death? Does it mean that you want to have purpose, maybe? Knowing that if you hand the keys over, that you have no more purpose, you have no more will to live, or no desire to live, or you don't have any, you have no purpose, and so your body shuts down. Is it just knowing that feeling, or is it just hanging on to the last bit of the power that you do have? The thing I wanted to add to this video, I had to go back and edit it, but during the episode of Game of Thrones, the kings that were overthrown overthrown by their own heirs, their own sons, right, by force, because they felt at that point I'm gonna take this from you now. I'm not just gonna wait for you to give this to me. And is there a reason or a cause for an individual, for a son, a prince, to take the keys from the kingdom, take the keys to the kingdom from their king? And is there a difference when it's by force, meaning at that point there needs to be a new ruler, there needs to be you physically, mentally cannot handle your situation, so now I'm going to take the keys from you? Is there at some point when force is, I hate to say force, but that change in the guard, is it necessary? Is it done unwillingly? Is there a reason for that? It's not like a presidential election where you can vote and say, okay, we want a new president, because when it comes to king or your family, your father, your grandfather, whoever that may be, there comes a time when that force is unfortunately taken. And I don't mean physically harm an individual. I'm saying force, meaning you have to make that call and say, look, as of today, you're no longer going to be able to drive your vehicle, do your financial stuff, because you're elderly and you're not capable of doing that anymore. What the reason why I'm thinking that, and there's part of that in a personal sense for me, is that, many of you know that I love my grandpa. I take care of him. I'm with him a lot of times. He's 86 years old. He's getting up there, And as people get older, they start to lose their mind. They start to forget things. They start to not be able to do the things they used to do. And I've never wanted to take that away from my grandfather. I never wanted to say, okay, that's it. He still has a good mind. He still has a lot of fight in him. But I'm just thinking about the future, and I'm just thinking, at what point do I take those keys away from him? At what point do I tell him, look, I have to take over these things, your financial stuff, things that, I do a lot for him. Don't get me wrong. I want you guys to know that I do above and beyond for my grandfather, and everybody in my family knows it. That's why he's, leaving me everything when he passes on. But sometimes I think, at what point, what time in his life, my life, will that come? And it's not that I'm rushing for it. It's just things start taking place that calls me to start preparing in my mind that day to come. And then there's some stuff, I'm not going to go into personal stuff, but just, things that, he should be doing that he doesn't do, or that he doesn't know how to do, or is just not capable of doing. And I know that time's coming, and that's why I'm kind of just thinking about it. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. I don't want this to be a 10-minute video. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you like. If not, that's cool. This is just a little session for me to get things off my mind and just share them. I know at some point we're all going to hit that time. So thanks for watching. Red October out.